Hey, I'm Mike Baccarello, and today we're going to take a look at a Jimmy Herring scale sequence that has a lot of twists and turns in it. Let's take a look. So this line comes from a Jimmy Herring tune off of the record Endangered Species, I believe. It's a tune called Lockwood Folley, and it was rewritten and adapted for Widespread Panic, I think, as a tune called Her Dance Has No Body. And this comes from the original recording. This line, just up front, works equally well over an E Lydian situation, like E major 7 sharp 11, or a C sharp minor 7. It works just fine over both, because over the Lydian, you get that, and over the minor 7, you have a Dorian sound. So first thing to know is that in this sequence, usually when people play a scale sequence, they play through the scale in order, through the sequence of groups of 3s or 4s or whatever it might be. Now, when in a couple of moments in this line, Jimmy skips notes from the scale, and that's something he does in his playing quite a bit. When he plays a scale, he'll just omit a note when he's running up and down it or something like that. Now, I went to a clinic he did probably about a decade ago, and he talked about, he likes playing a major scale without a fourth, or a Dorian scale without a second, things like that. So he definitely practices some of these kind of synthetic scales in his head, and they come out as playing this way. This line starts, and it's mostly going through the scale in groupings of 4s, but it switches every so often. So he starts by going up 4, from E up to A sharp. And then from there, he goes down in groups of 4. And then here, rather than go to the D sharp, that would be normally in the scale, he jumps down to C sharp. And then from there, he does the F sharp E, C sharp B, again skipping that D sharp. So what we have so far, those are just groups of 4, right? Then he goes from E to D sharp, slides, and then he starts ascending. But when he ascends, he starts doing groups of 6. And then again there, he skips a note. He goes up in 6. E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, up to D sharp. So again, he skips that B. So then he starts working down in groups of 4. There's a 5, and he repeats those last 2 notes. So he does 4, 4, 4, 5. So you can see, while he's doing this, he's not just playing a sequence of groups of 4s, 3s, or whatever. He's actually switching it up quite a bit, and then omitting notes when he feels like it too. This right here, I think, is what makes this line so cool, because note-wise, he's just playing a scale. But he chooses to omit some notes, which add some extra intervallicness to this line. But then he, rather than just doing groups of 4, which our ears will pick up on really quickly and it'll get repetitive, he starts switching up groups of 6, back to 4. And then he throws in a 5 in there too. I think this is what makes this line so cool. And Jimmy's playing is full of this kind of stuff. So to get some of this stuff into our playing, we can kind of make up our own exercises. So let's do a group of 4 and a group of 6. You can take 2 groups of 4 and a group of 6. You can take the concept that Jimmy does when he starts ascending in this line. He plays a group of 6, but rather than jump down to the next note, he starts up a 4th. So he starts on B in the line, does B, goes goes up 6 notes, and then goes to E, goes up 6 notes. Now he skips a note in there, but still, it's a concept. So we can take E, the other thing worth mentioning about what makes this line so effective is the rhythm. Now, it's just straight 16ths the whole time, but Jimmy starts on the second 16th note of the beat rather than the first. So these groups of 4 are always slightly off because they're resolving on the E of the beat rather than the actual downbeat. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and 2, and so forth. Whereas when you play a sequence like this and you start on the beat, or it moves things ever so slightly, which I guess adds just a little extra tension to the line, which I think is very cool. We can come up with any number of exercises like this. So practicing your scales and odd groupings, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, ascending, descending, and then try to combine them. And then combine them in different ways, So I'm going to do group of 4 and then jump up a fifth and do a group of 5, or it could be any number of things we come up with. But the whole point is to get our fingers used to this kind of stuff, so when we're improvising, this kind of stuff can just come out of us. That's what I feel like Jimmy does. I don't feel like he practices all these sequences, verbatim like this. He probably just practiced all these different sequences a million times, so when he goes to play, it just comes out without him having to think about it. All right, so I hope you like this lesson. See you next time.